Hey everybody, welcome to the show. We'll be starting here in just a minute. I'm starting early today. I have to be somewhere tonight because tonight is Dragon Sandbox Storyteller's Tales over at Manitap. I need to be there at 6, and so I want to leave a little early today to get set up. So I'm going to make sure I have the time to do that. Hey Kyle, how you doing, buddy? Just relaxing. Day off for you? Ah, early days, huh? I really need to play Weird Wizard, which is on the screen right now. I need to set down like a 4-episode play. Ah. Music matches the screen so well. All right, all right. Let's get this show on the road, everybody. Hey, everybody. Oh, I didn't have my little lovely companions not on today. There we go. Got a little light here today, trying to get these lovely plants back up and running. So, a little different lighting source than normal. So today we are back to go over Game Jam Day 4. I figured it's only appropriate for me to look at the winner for this Game Jam. So I turn this a little bit. And to do that, I need an earlier time today. I have to leave here by 5:30 latest to get out across town to go run Shadowdark for Mana Tap and for the Dragon Sandbox. We're doing some satellite spots and doing pop-ups and helping people learn new games instead of just being D&D, which is super fucking cool. So I'm running Shadowdark, and today I'm gonna bring Breachers into it. Not sure how the party's gonna take it, but we're gonna run it. We're gonna run the Return to Anvil run. They've already went through two sessions. The first ones they died in, escaping in Prey. The second one, they were in Purgatory, playing Second Chances. And in Second Chances, they escaped and came back out. After they escaped in Second Chances, they get put back in Everpeak to kind of ground them into what we would do for Breachers. And now, as like some players are coming back, I think we have 3 or 4 core that come back, and a joiner, we are going to be doing the Anvil run, which I'm actually pretty excited about. So I think I'm going to do the return. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to decide that here after the show. But I'm going to run that. Hopefully sell a couple copies of Breachers while I'm there, and then teach people about Shadowdark, because it's still Shadowdark. I don't think I'm going to introduce the new rules for Breacher points for this. I think I'm just going to let them use luck instead of confusing them, because they're all new players. So anyway, pretty excited about that. Let's get into this. We're going to be reviewing the winner from the Game Jam. This is Day 4. And then on Friday, we're going to have that winner on, which is Nick. He's in the audience all the time, Cree. And we're going to be going over different parts of the Game Jam, taking questions. So I'm going to set up in my Discord a spot to do Q&A for people who want questions. They can submit them. We've done that over in the Arcane Library as well. And then I'm going to be putting a social media post out probably tomorrow as well for it. And we're going to be looking for questions. Anyone who has questions on stuff, we're going to be gathering them from the videos that I have, gathering them from Discord, everywhere we can. And then we're going to put on a little Class 102 as well, which I think is going to be on Scope and Scale. I think that's what Nick and I were discussing. But today, I want to see if I agree with the judge's assessment that he should have won the Game Jam. I've only seen it in progress as he was working on it. I never really gave a lot of feedback. And I kind of want to see if it's any good. So, we're going to get this started. Let's head over to the table. We'll take a look at everything that I have set up, and then what we're going to be looking at. All right, Chrome. Are you going to play well today? A big Game Jam. Does that work? Do you play well today? Boom! I didn't have to do it. I got it to work. I've been fighting a lot with OBS the last like 3 days. It's been a fucking nightmare. Like, no joke nightmare. Let's see here. I kind of want this to fit the whole thing. It did fit. It does fit though. For once, it's actually doing its job. I don't know why it's being so friendly today, but I don't know why it isn't the full window. It's supposed to be edge to edge. You know what? I think I had to adjust it when we were doing some recording the other day. Yeah, that's what it is. Oh well, I'll fix it. I like it to show the whole window if possible, like as much as possible, but it just doesn't always play well. It's a finicky program the last couple of weeks, and I feel like some stuff has changed, which has made it even more of a nightmare for me. Like, look at that. It's not even like edge to edge. I don't understand. Get it. I can't fix with broken. So, we're going to cheat. We're just going to cheat. We're going to take it all the way edge to edge like that and say, get fucked. So, I know a little bit about Nick's stuff. I can only speak to his goal. But he definitely he went in hard this year on making sure that his game jam entry was strong. And he wanted to prove a few points, which I'll let him talk about when he's on. So I'm going to judge this list like I did every other piece that I've looked at so far. So it's going to be the same kind of look through everything. A reminder for the criteria for the game jam. Game jam is over. But I still want to kind of do my due diligence. I think this is going to be the last day of reviews. Since Friday, we're going to do the post-mortem. So I think this is the last one that I'm going to walk through and look at. I think. Maybe if I have a dead spot, maybe I'll grab one and go through it again. But I really think 5 days of it is a lot. And I have a lot of other things to go through that are in a stack over here from companies that want me to review stuff. We still need to finish Castles Crusade. I have the new Dark Space to go over, so I think this will be the final one for this. But I love doing these, and people had some really good entries this year. I do think there was a stronger showing from how many people came out in the previous game jam. I think it has more to do with this being 8-bit. A few people think it's because of the time of the year. I don't think that really was the difference. I just don't. So they did their judgings. They went through the whole thing, and do we have our inspiration, usability, and vibes are our 3 criteria. So we're going to go into our submission section here. We're going to download this. It's now at $1. Well, I want to just download it. It has to be free for the game jam. Look at his scores, man. He did really good. He did really good. So let's go to the itch.io page. It's $1 or more for me to download it now. It's not free after the game jam. God damn it, Nick. God damn it, Nick. I'm going to ask him for the final. Because I know he probably changed this afterwards because we talked, and this is me and him talking's doing. Otherwise, I'll just pay for it. I just got to pull it over to another screen. Actually, I don't have to. I can just do this. I'll just buy it. Hold on a minute as I whip this out. I was ready. All right, so let's download all. I'm just going to download into our Game Jam folder. Actually, no, I won't for these. I'm just going to put them in downloads because then I can put them into the folder afterwards. I don't want to dick around. He's got spreads. All right, so now I can pull this back up. Okay. All right, so we have them all downloaded now. Okay. And then let's open them up. So I don't want the spreads version, even though I know he personally loves writing things in spread, and I don't blame him. I am going to open it up in single format, so I don't have that. So there is... This is his page, because I said I would start showing these off. I actually love this logo, and I love this font. Breakdown, made by idle hands, not by ugly robots. Guys need to calm down. Okay. It's going to be okay. A lot of comments already on it. Good job responding, everybody. I already like the art for this, man. I know you do all your own art. I'm excited for this. I'm really mad I wasn't in this year to compete against you and beat your ass. Right? That's what you say to friends, right? That's how you talk to friends. So, let's get rid of Chrome. And for those who just showed up, I started early today because I have to be somewhere today. And I wanted to make sure I gave this enough time to get set up, go through it, and all that jazz. So I am making sure that we have that time. That's why I'm here early. Just so for ones who are like, oh, fuck, he started early. That's why I started early, okay? So, Crypt of the Child. Well, the first thing we're going to have to do is hunt through this and find stuff. But I want to set up the recording like I always do so that I can clip it off afterwards. You didn't have to hope, Eric. I was on my bike. It's all right, man. I just picked it up. So, let me grab... Let's set this up to record like normal. Show ad. All right, so let's get our notes down. My timestamp, my little timestamp sheet here. We're gonna do this for Kreese now. Been using Post-it notes again recently just for fun. All right, timestamps, and this is for review for the next one to set it up. All right. All right, everybody. So day 4, we're going to review Crypt of the Child, which is the entry from Gristle and Vine, which is Nick likes soup or Cree, because his name changes for some reason between what we're doing. We're going to take a look at this. He was the winner for the Game Jam today. I want to make sure we kind of touch on the winner. I think this is the last day I'm doing this, like I said earlier in the live show, but if you're watching this recorded one later, I just want you to at least know why. We've had 60 entries in total. I think have done... Looks like I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This will be 8 we've done, so this will be 9, right? And while I love doing these, the jam is over, and I really don't want to continue doing the jam this far after its completion, right? So we're gonna kind of skip over it, and we're gonna go through and make sure that everything's good to go or not. Now, with that said, everyone does their transparency things at the beginning of this. Here's what I will say. You guys may think, because I know this person, that I'm going to be easier on them. And if that's what you believe, as someone who thinks he's a friend of the show, that I'm going to be nice, you don't know me very well. You don't know me very well at all. I am not easier on my friends. I expect them to be better than the other people around, because they're my friends, and I expect them to challenge me. So, Nick already knows that I'm going to really review this. I think he knows me well enough by now that there's not going to be a false review, fluffing him on this one, unless it's really good. And we have different design theories, which is great as well. So we're going to go over to the table and start looking through this. Yeah, I know he's gonna be meaner, Nick says. He's gonna be meaner. You're right. I'm gonna be meaner. So I downloaded this during the live show, which is obviously still live, just to give you guys I haven't really looked at this. I've seen some little bitty proof pieces and seen some stuff he's doing. Oh, look at this. First thing I would say, Nick. I'm assuming this piece is made in layers, right? So I get to be really finicky. I would have taken this, made the image, and flattened the image out. Because then when you scroll like this, you don't get the pops. Little trick. No knock against, but just something I know from doing a bunch of layout stuff. A lot of times you got to make them a flat image. The only thing that can happen is when you optimize, you might get the boxes. I've seen this a lot with the Pathfinder stuff over the years. Why is it every one of them that says it's not saved in spread still loves to give me spread views? Huh? Let's go to single. Oh, it's going to do the popping for me to go through. We got to get our right scroll down here, everybody, or this gets really hard to view on the show. This is where we break Acrobat. Ready? So we're going to go to view, and then from view, we're going to go to page display, and we're going to do enable scrolling, and we're going to watch this choke. So he's got all the stuff up front. I'm going to quick scroll to the bottom because I'm looking for his sample pieces. His games. Here we go. This is what we're looking for. So he laid this out right. Okay, so this is his front of the book. He has set the precedent of, here's your tables. Now, I want to remind people. I'm just going to grab, I have Curse Scroll 2 here, so I'm just going to grab it. The reason that we're seeing this setup in the front of books like this, and in the front of the game jams, is when you look at a piece by Kelsey and the Arcane Library, they've set up their idea of an adventure design. I just can't handle this light here. It's like blinding me in the side of the eyes. I'll put it back on later. The concept is to follow suit with this to a point. And that's because people have been trained to run Shadowdark adventures this way. The game isn't that old yet. We can break some stipulations and break things, but she is known for putting her tables and her map in the front of the book. This way, though, which is hard to read in a digital format, but it's really, people love the table because you can have it sit down and you can talk about going through it and what you're doing. And I didn't like it at first. I actually hated that I had to turn it this way and turn it this way to look it up, but it works pretty well. I will say that having that there and then having these two in the back, you can flip back and forth the books, kind of lean it against your screen, and you can mark things as you go. I now print these maps when I run these separate, so they can just set on the table. So, back to Nick's. I think he's already kind of following the training here, which makes me happy. He's giving you tables up front for the things that he wants as a reference point on table 1. And then we get into the Gristlin Vine and what he got. I will be honest, out of all the ones I've seen, I think his was the shittiest draw. He got the worst possible thing. He got Kid Dracula, play action football, snake rattle and roll. Dude, they're so unrelated. I felt really bad. He showed me his, and I got mad because I got DuckTales, and I fucking hated that game. But he got these, and I was like, dude, these are, I mean, they're games made for Nintendo. So I did feel bad. Kid Dracula is a 1993 Game Boy spoof of Castlevania. Features vampires, undead, fireballs, goofy puns like Umbrella, Logosi? I don't know what that is. I don't remember that being in the game. Everything in the previous sentence makes an appearance in this adventure. This adventure also uses a variant of the Game Boy Color palette. Okay. Did you fit this in here in a smaller font because you're running out of space? Is that what that is? Oh, you see you got an asterisk there. I see. So it's a Game Boy Color palette? Oof. Play action football. That was my reaction. Yeah. Play action football is a generic isometric football game where the teams only have city names to avoid licensing fees. The isometric map clash between two main factions, and the Bloody Orb Trap are inspired in this game. I remember this game. I remember when they put out football by city names and kept the colors sort of to not get in trouble. And I played a lot of this at my cousin's house growing up. I do remember it. And then we stopped playing that game when, what is it? Mutant League Football came out. Then we just played that instead. Obviously, that's for Sega. Snake Rattle and Roll, a game about a snake eating mushrooms while avoiding severed feet, stomping on him while he hops about an isometric map, Cubert style. The severed feet made me think of potato sack races, so you'll see snakes being used as sacks and big bad evil snake guys. A mushroom consumption utilized through this adventure. Now, I want to say, when I've read through a lot of these, this is what I would do as well. I want to set the tone, let the reader, the GM, or the judges know what I had, what I saw in those games, to give it. This sounds horrible. This is my take. I would do this that they don't have a preconceived notion about what those games are to me, and so they don't go fucking look them up. That's why I would do this. That is my cheat code. I want to put you in my headspace when you start reading this. All right? Now, I don't know if that's why Nick does it, but that is why I do it. So let's look at these tables now that we know what he's doing. Mushroom effects, Lucky Day, heal for 1 hit point with no adverse effects. That's very powerful, actually, right out of the gate. Join the Spore Mine, make your check with advantage. If you fail, you immediately join the Spore Mine and roll a new character. Oh, fuck. We're going to need our highlighter here. I can already feel it. Nick has got everything in purple. So we'll do orange. I think orange will look pretty good over top of this. So let's make sure. Woo! Yep, works for me. I like that. Garlic stench. You smell of garlic. Vampires. Let's make a DC 12 con. Again, either way that you do this is fine. I still like CDC better than having it encapsulated in between the two. It's a personal visual for me, because when I'm reading left to right, I like to have it end with the number. So when I'm hunting for the number, I don't say, I know you're looking at it as DC 12 con check, but I look at it as con DC 12. At the end of the day, it's the same, because somebody questioned me on that earlier. Suffer D6 damage at the near. This is the one I want. Wooden limbs. Your limbs transform to wooden substances that enable you to... Nick, this is A+ here, my friend. Photosynthesis. When you spend 8 hours in the sun, you can heal for 2 hit points, 2d8 hit points. Sunbeam. Sacrifice 3d8 hit points to deal 1d6. So I do have a question. Tables are usually weighted. What made this be 1 and not this one that can kill you? This can kill you. Out of all of these, this, I mean, I guess this can, but it's also very powerful. Why wouldn't you have swapped these? Were you just playing with the 1 and 1? Is that why? Because this one outright makes you roll a new character. That's shitty. 1d6 random encounters, 2 vampire spawn lurch towards the blood bag chamber for a snack. 4 spore mines build a trap for a vampire spawn. 1d6 bog bags charge out of the shadows with makeshift weapons. Spore mines corner a vampire spawn protecting a blood bag. Rattle releases 1d4 snake swarms. I love this. Thank you for putting that. Is that even hyperlinked? Bro, if you would have hyperlinked that somehow to make me open my own PDF, I would have laughed my ass off. Dolingen tries to possess an adventurer to rescue Mallory. Okay, so you got a little story in here. I'm definitely going to remind myself, what is this? I want to know what that is. Mallory screams, excite Rattle. It destroys 3 rooms. A lot of in all of them, I have noticed a lot of this destruction of rooms and stuff like that. Yeah, I figured you were playing the number game. Nick says that you get advantage, 2 dice equal 2. Yeah, I figure that's what you did. I get it. I saw it, but I don't like it. Because tables are usually weighted by 1 bad, 6 good. Thank you for using a pixel font that's readable. You obviously did not use an 8-bit font. This is closer to like a 32 or 64-bit font. But it does get the job done. Makes me think of 8-bit, even if it isn't 8-bit. Smears of blood drag into the room. Dead snake is pinned to the wall. These are the omens, by the way. The last one, random encounters. Ghost vision of the townsfolk's death in this room plays out before you. I always enjoy these. I'm excited to see how this would work if you have this somewhere else, because I feel like it's a failure in a lot of adventures when people deal with spirits. And you gotta remember, I wrote an entire setting based around purgatory, the afterlife, all of that stuff. And because I wrote this stuff, I have like really strong ideas on what ghosts should be and how they can work. I'm not saying everything has to dive down the rabbit hole, but this is one of those ones where like possession isn't fun unless the players get to do something with possession. There's a whole bunch of weird agency issues when you deal with ghosts. A white source flickers going out for a second before reigniting. A scroll of fireball flits down from the ceiling as ash, unusable. Broken salt circle is stained red. The spirit of the mother in stasis, 10. I'm guessing this is location 10, which I'm more marking this for me to learn. Calls out from for her child, and then the court voice booms through the crypt, "Where's my daughter?" Okay, so back down to here. Everybody is in here. Additional assets, sword and sorcery, portraits of Sleepless Seven. What is this, Nick? Out of curiosity, I don't know. I see a link. I'm going to allow it. All right, so let's go see what this is, since Nick was kind enough to put this in here. The Sleepless Seven. Oh, cool. Oh, so you just bought a good... I would have done the same thing. I'd have bought an 8-bit art pack. And look how cost-effective these were. How many art packs did you buy, Nick, out of here? Just out of curiosity. Did you buy 2, 3? What did you buy? This cost you like... Probably bought this one. I'm guessing it was this. And you recolored it. Right here. These look like the ones that I saw. This cost you a whole $5. Smart. Smart. You found art cheap and used it. And I believe in reverse engineering a lot of things. One of my favorite things to do, for those who don't know, when I was working for TPK Games, we had to get a bunch of art in. And to get that art in, I had to reverse engineer all of it. And we had to go find art and write things around it because we were in a tight situation. So, just a heads up to everybody. You can do that. It does work. You can work in reverse. It actually functions. So, smart play. Love that you did that. That's really cool to shout out. Even linked their Arcane Library. Also cool. Made by Idle Hands. The only thing I'm wondering going through, we'll see how this goes. This texture seems a little strong in some spots. Looks like you might have... Did you blur the middle at all? I might have blurred some of the middle. It's just that this texture is pretty strong. We'll see how it affects everything else. Love this. Kind of the vortex. Really clean. Single column. I've thought a lot about design lately and using single column for things that are like direct information. And this is a good example of that. I'm thirsty. 1 year ago in a tavern, a giant snake-like worm, W-U-R-M, rattled his way up through the floor and devoured patrons, leaving a hole. From it, a tiny voice rang out, "I'm thirsty." Townsfolk immediately lowered a large basin on a rope to rescue the missing child. Hope that was until the child spoke again. So yeah, like, again, right in here, this dark spot, I'm curious to see how this prints when you get it, Nick, because I know you're going to print it. But like these sections here that kind of blur up, and this section here that blurs up, I worry about that gray printing right. So let me know how that prints, because it seems a little too strong, especially like right here. You might run into some issues in print. And I'm obviously analyzing this on a different level because it's the winter and I'm sure they're going to want to take this to print at some point. I do love page textures though. This stuff makes me very happy. Please invite me in. The men stop pulling on the rope. That's not good. Hair on end. Temperature dropping, blood pressure rising. They asked the child to repeat itself, so she did. They released the rope. For months, the voice called out with the same two phrases, sometimes angry, sometimes bargaining. The townsfolk built over the hole, fearful of the vampire child. Anyone who fell was presumed dead. Look, fucking fair. Fucking fair. Only do paper protection for the digital. There you go. That's a great solution. Then the forest yawned. In Lich Woods, Lich Woods. That's I have something in my world called that too. What's up, Logan? Welcome to the show. We're going over the winner of the game jam. I'm being harder on him than the rest. The forest is alive. It opens a maw to form canyons. It yawns and the ground quakes. It sneezes and a wind blows poison through its leaves. When the forest yawned, the tavern collapsed into the hole. History repeated, townsfolk fell, but the voice is silent. Townsfolk demanded answers. They wanted to burn the cursed tavern down. And the tavern keeper put out a call for adventurers to brave the hole and get answers. Phrasing. I love that you use this 8-bit art. Did you have to color it out of curiosity, or was it looked like there might have been color ones in the pack? Did you just reshade them to match your style? Big fan of this. Let me draw. I like hooks. Keep whatever you find. Just find me some survivors. 50 gold ahead. Tell me that the child is not freed. Failing that, 3 need answers. The child is not freed. Failing that, 3 need answers. I'm not quite. Keep whatever you find. Just find me some survivors. 5 gold ahead and tell me that the child is not freed. Failing that, 3 need answers. I'm not sure what this is. Maybe I'll learn. I like that you did the little quest box, though, like you're playing a video game. But I'm not sure what failing that, 3 need answers. Is it oh, I see, you're saying there are 3 dead. That's what you're saying. There's 3 dead. Okay. Weird verbiage there, but I get it, I think. Rumors. The Count's daughter was dying. A man promised to save her from the disease ravaging her frail body. She woke up a vampire. The Count couldn't bear to see that the vile beast became, so he sealed her in a crypt. First off, love this. This heading piece. Bold choice, sir, to have something this big is a title box. Bold choice. Love this font, really clean. I'm sure you spent forever finding a font that you like for that look handwritten but still legible. Also, secretly, failing that I need answers. That's an I. Ugh. Failing that I need. That looks like a fucking 3, bro. I would have scraped that letter. I would have used something else in its place. I get that is the I, but that is very hard to read. It looks like a 3. Do you know why? Right here. That's why. It looks like the same thing when it's small like that. Especially when it's close to that, and you're teaching people that there's 1 hit point in 1, and 2 for 2. So, I bet the giant snake thing swallowed the foul creature. Would do us a favor. Wait, can a vampire die if it's eaten without being killed by a wooden stake? Great question. I looked down the hole once before it was sealed. There was a strange mushroom growing on the walls. Strange mushrooms growing on the walls. I felt like it was calling out to me to try them, but they were too far down. I'd like to try one. I crave one. Woo! Woo! Never seen a snake with 8 eyes before. Creeping me out. Crept me out. I suspect it's some eldritch abomination that only Shroom can love. Nice reference. Nice reference, sir. Good job. Calling back. Love it. That's smart. Do you... But, I was going to say, is this purple? I will never forget this purple. I had to paint walls at a daycare at a gym, and I painted a rabbit on the wall, like a weird Bucky. I can still draw him. He's one of my first illustrated creations as a kid, and he stayed with me through my whole time of drawing, and I painted him on the wall, and that's the purple that he is. So I always remember that purple. I didn't even know what hex codes or anything were back then, but that's the purple I mixed every time. I mixed a gigantic bottle of it so that I always had that color. And then if I got low, I would mix another batch and mix those batches together so that it was at least similar. I got really good at remixing colors by hand. So, Dulgen, Metagala, a ghost. I think I would have maybe made her ghostial looking. I would have changed the color up on this one. I know it's the person's original art, but you bought it. You can do whatever you want with it. I think I would have color changed this to make her look like a ghost. Unless you're saying she always looks material. After the child's casket was destroyed by the spore mines, preventing her healing, Dolly insured Mallory, neuroed Mallory and a snake to keep her alive. She needs a casket or to possess someone so she can repair one. What the fuck? So she is using the snake as a coffin? Am I reading this right? Okay. Woo! Spore mines are gas. So gassed ghosts. They survived the whole collapse, disfigured. Imagine that. Disfigured by the mushrooms. Enlightened. Will try to force mushrooms to anyone. So they join the spore mine. If they make it to the surface, they will try growing more mushrooms. Nice reuse of a ghast, by the way. I like this concept. Vampire spawn. Look at this cute little bat. That looks like a bat. Bats. That's what it looks like. Vampire spawn. Spore mines destroyed their coffins. Without the masters guiding them, they are regaining their sentience, unable to heal. And without newfound awareness, they hesitate in their assaults. Will aid the child for their freedom. Smart. I like that. A lot of really good build up here. Blood bags. Townsfolk. That's what I call them too. Some townsfolk exist in a dungeon without conversion. Some serve as blood bags to feed the child and spawns. If they can return to the surface, they will be traumatized and attack at random. See spore mines everywhere. Okay. So this is our map. I'm going to zoom out. I know you spent a lot of time on this. I love that you said isometric. With isometric, you brought that into your game. Isometric maps are my favorite things to draw. While they are time consuming, I feel that they tell a better story than a flat map. And everyone's like, oh, they're too hard to play on tactically. No, they're not. It's still a fucking grid. It's not hard. People whine about it. It works great. Sly Flourish, by the way, if you join his Patreon, has taken pictures of all of his, what is it called? Not Dungeon Forge. Dwarven Forge. In isometric patterns. Perfect setup. Makes them, builds them, takes pictures, takes backgrounds out so that you can click them together for doing digital isometric. If you did not know that, it's my little tip to you. And his Kickstarter, his Patreon is fantastic. So, the dungeon is deadly. So you're already setting the tone. Bravo. We've talked about this 1,000 times. Should be here immediately. I love this use of the like bomb pop letters to make it stick out. I really like the bomb pop as a color. A little nostalgia there. I love the colored doors as well. I can see you've drawn, it looks like 2 different doors on different angles so that you can make small ones and large ones based on where they are. Smart play. This must be the hole. So this is the bar. The hole falls down. Pile of shit. Don't fall on that. Mushrooms. So you go in, there's mushrooms. I'm surprised you don't have mushrooms down this wall. Because in the description, it says mushrooms. You can see them. So unless I saw them somewhere else. So you go into 3 and over. And honestly, because we're reviewing and for the simplicity of I want to be able to see the full map, I'm going to open this up in Acrobat. Because you did upload the separate maps. While this doesn't count towards a Game Jam total, I am going to do it to make it easier for us to see the whole map while we are going over things. So I want to take a look at this. So 1 to 2, 2 to 3. 19 looks like the spore area going around and through. Got some creature, the worm back here. I'm assuming you can follow that through. If you go into this, you have all of the... These look like they might have been the old coffins or something. I haven't looked yet. Locked door to... Oh, there's the coffins. To the chapel area. What is this? Is this like a wheat field? Or traps that fall? I'm curious to see what this is when we read through. This is obviously some form of a secret door that goes into something. That's why you have 9 and 9B. Classic labeling. I love this little... This right here this feels like a trap in a video game. I dig that a lot. I like the purple choice with everything else around it. This is good, Nick. This is a solid, clean map I really like. So let's get into it. We already got some hyperlinks. So, random encounters RE from now on. Perfect. You taught the abbreviation from the rest of this book. It lets you abbreviate random encounters with just an RE. Smart play. You're teaching the method. Our way to build tension and maintain time pressure. Roll 1d6, the hazard die every round. And you're also teaching the game. On a 1, roll on the below table for triggered encounter. Whenever the party makes noises, roll the hazard die. If the party harms Mallory, roll a d8. Smart. Smart. So you got a weighted die. You have a d6 table with 2 optional answers where you could trigger something really bad. And this here that you see, as a reminder to everybody, is the same thing we saw up here. And I was wondering why it said D6, and I didn't say anything. We now know that these two are when you upgrade the die to a D8. Smart play, Nick. Great. I love table fun to weight things properly. Really good play. You also have that for omens, it looks like, too. I just realized that. So we'll probably get into that right after. So really good play. That's there. So what do we add? Mallory screams. Oh, so they're the same. So those are the 2 really bad ones. And you taught them how to use it. And if they harm Mallory, they roll a d8. Omens. When I think of omens, I think of House on Haunted Hill. Betrayal House on Hill. The video game. Or not video game. The board game. I'm assuming omens come from somewhere in one of the games. I'm guessing it's the vampire one. Foreshadow impending dangers. They will make the dungeon feel more alive. Create tension. Give your players a chance to flee from threats. When rolling the hazard die, a 2 will trigger an omen from the list. So now, when you roll hazards, you are giving a 1, which is encounter, and a 2, which is like a foretelling. And I do this all the time. If they roll a 2... I give a foreshadowing. So the fact that you called them omens for this, genius play, Nick. I agree with that wholeheartedly. I don't think you and I have ever talked about this. So I think every GM inherently, this is my belief, every GM inherently looks at a DC, listens to what the player rolls, and use the closeness to hitting that DC as a barometer, a measuring, a dial, a temperature of how close to success or far from it they are into failure. And that 1 and 2 on the weighted encounter roll, 1 means shit's happening, 2 means almost happened. And I use those for myself to tell tales when I'm running Shadowdark. To me, it's a mechanic that lets a storyteller tell a story through the dice. And the dice are the silent partner in all tabletop gaming. I wholeheartedly believe that. Sometimes it's a loud partner, but they can't talk. You get what I'm saying. You fucking understand, right? You understand? I think you do. So, good play, Nick. I think this is a great addition. Great star. What I don't get, what do we say here? When rolling a hazard die, will trigger an omen from the list below. Use 1d8 with RE. So, when rolling the hazard die, a 2 will trigger an omen from the list below. Use 1d8 with RE. All right, I have a question for clarity. RE says you build tension, maintain 1d6 a hazard die every round, roll a 1. Are you saying that when you roll a 1, you roll an omen as well? That you roll both? That on a 1, you roll 2d8? Or a d6 and a d8? Or if Mallory's injured, you upgrade to a d8? And also, the other question I have is, does this d8 stay forever? Because it doesn't explain up here. It just says if the party harms Mallory, roll a d8. This should say something like rolls a d8 for the rest of the game. From here on out. Forever. For the rest of the adventure. Whatever. I know it's implied, but it should be clarified. Yeah, I get what you're trying to say. 100%, Nick. But, like, 1 is a D8 forever. 2, you could explain that here. You have so much box text here that in a smaller print you could explain. Or you could have bumped the omens over and you could have put D6, right, and then D8 and stack them maybe. The only reason I'm saying that is I would read this as the D8 is forever if you harm Mallory. That's how I would read it. I don't know if that's what you intend, but the goal is to get the intent across to the GM. Right now, I feel like if I get harmed, maybe it's the next one that's rolled. Just a little clarity. And this is a minor nitpick. Minor, not huge. But you basically upgraded D8s because then these two things can become part of the table, which I understand. I understand the intent. Again, love this. You went to black and white for this. Oh. So you did color. Hold on a minute. For the story and rumors and factions, you colored them. For down here, you went to black and white for the dungeon. Okay. Oh, nice little piece of art. Oh, I'm curious to see. This obviously means something. I know you. You hide shit and everything. Worm Food Tavern. Tavern lit obstacle inside the wooden floor is splintering with a giant hole in the middle of it. The hole was carved out by the worm. Rattle. I love you kept the name. The crane is being constructed by townsfolk, wench people down to explore the ruins for the survivors of a recent quake. All right. I don't want to click it yet. I noticed it was hyperlinked, my sir. I know what it is. We're going to do it in a minute. Is this bile of bones and debris? Pile? There's got to be pile of bones and debris. Yeah, man, I love this font, but there's some, gotta learn. I gotta learn it. I gotta learn their serifs for this bitch. Dark treasure, pile of debris, or as my friend Jamie would say, a pile of debris. He always said that. He thought he was hilarious. Honestly, it is still a little funny. A pile of debris and bodies formed when the hole collapsed. Tables, chairs, and limbs are easily recognizable in the dirt mound. Bloody footprints lead to the tunnel towards the crypt. Pile. In the pile, silverware, an unlit torch, a scroll of fireball. Woo! 1 XP. Question for GMs out there. If you get a scroll of fireball for 1 XP and you use it during the adventure, do you still give the experience? I do. I still give it. Rummaging for items takes, because I think you deserve it. I think you deserve that experience, even if you use it immediately. You found it. You found it and it's yours. So, rummaging for items takes 2 rounds and causes noise that could attract mushroom eaters. Great. Footprints, bloody and humanoid size. Bloody orb. Dark, puzzle, trap. I love this stuff, man. I love Dark Treasure. I love this. This is how I do my stuff as well. I agree with this wholeheartedly to give key like, at a glance information. An orb sits on the marble pedestals, 3 slots, 100 gold. There's a bloody handprint on it. There's a bloody corpse smashed against the wall. 3 floor tiles past the orb. Trap. DC 15 Dex. Well, you went away from your abbreviation. I'm not sure why you did that. Yeah, I noticed the Spore Eater. I was wondering what that was. I was going to get to that too. This should say mind. An orb sits on the... So why did you not go to using the thing you already trained? Why is this not DC 15D? Why did you change it? Up here, in the tables, you use it, but you're not going to use it where you've already trained them in here. I don't know. I would have gutted that. DC 18 dex if walking. Free passage to anyone running and carrying an orb. If carrying the orb and walking, DC 9 dex check. Stones deal 2d10 crushing damage. Only one person can carry at a time. Spiking orbs return into the pedestal immediately if rolled. Spiking the orb returns it to the pedestal immediately if rolled. The floor tiles will suck it in and return in 2 rounds. So I'm going to click this. Yep, that's what I thought, you motherfucker. Takes you to the map. Takes you to a fucking map. Now, I will say, it didn't take me to the right area, though. Your link, when I click this, I'm on room 3. I click this. It should have taken me to here. Your hyperlink is made for spreads. It did not take me here where I need to go. Now, will it take me back? It does. That's dope. So this should take me to there, and it takes me to here. So your hyperlink's broken. But I love the enthusiasm. I love this. I love it, sir. Amazing. Amazing. This, A+. You fit them. It's legible. How much work did it take to get this shit to fucking fit here? Because you're already breaking your ethics of trying to fit all these different pieces in. Were you okay with doing this because it fits on one page? Because I would have been. I would have been totally into it. Possessed armor. Dark, monster, treasure. At the end of the orb gauntlet. Yeah, it's set to 1. It should be, well, it should be set. Shouldn't this be set to 3? Because it's 3. The bloody orb. Isn't this the orb? This is this. So it should be set to 3, right? Unless you just have 2 anchor points or something like that. So the end of the orb gauntlet, suits of armor stand guard. The right door leads to a relic chamber. By the way of gravity hallway 8 and 11. The left door leads to Mallory's bedroom. A suit, an armor, 6 suits, 1 possessed by Doligan, before engaging in combat will ask if party is there to repair or replace Mallory's coffin, or take her to the Count's keep. Will provide 100 gold ruby for assistance, 1 XP. I love that you're putting the XP in here to remind the player or the GM. I also, maybe, just for me, I think you have this lovely bar here. I would put XP. I would put an XP here, right? And 1. So that a GM can go through and quickly, maybe you make an icon for it, so a GM can go through and tally up if the players found all that shit. You have it in here. I love that you're mentioning it, but it's still buried. And at the end of the game, this is an important piece of information. It's the same reason I bitch that they don't have the XP stuff on the inside of this fun GM screen. There's stuff in here that I just don't need. Like, the luxury items is cool, and the XP for treasury is up there, but I would like a page number at the top of all these and a better breakdown of things. It's just a little basic. I think more XP explanation would have been better on here, but I love that you're mentioning it. I just have to tally it up at the end. So maybe just an idea. I don't know how it would look. Something to think about. Mallory's bedroom. Dim, trap, treasure, or actually, honestly, you could even put XP here. Dim, trap, treasure, XP, because you have the treasure there. and that's an identifier of something. So are these hyperlinked? Is there any way to go from here to the map? Because that'd be hot. We're on 5. So 5. So we're in this room. So we've traveled through 3, through this, into here, armor, and then we're going into 5. Several coffins with broken lids rest on a large rug. A giant stained glass window is enchanted to provide dim light to the room. Coffins, shards of wood, and garlic mushroom bits litter the interior. Pillows, dolls, one is a rat with a pull string, so it talks, and other toys fill the coffins. Torn note tucked inside a pillow contains the following. Daughter, forgive me. I know not what I do. My heart bleeds unlocked. I built this to protect you. This is a clue to unlock the relic door in 10. Is this hyperlinked? You didn't hyperlink this. I would have hyperlinked to this. Yeah, you say that map icon, but there's not a map icon. Oh, because you're looking at this as a 2-page spread. I see. I would want it per page. I would want a map icon per page. And the reason I say that is we're looking at a different section here. And when I'm in a scroll capacity, when I'm scrolling, this icon isn't on every page. See what I'm saying? Also, for those who don't know, if you hold Alt and hit the left arrow key, it'll take you back to what you were looking at. Coffins, shard windows, rug, skeleton key underneath the rug. If in the room for 3 rounds, someone will step on it and find it. Ooh, this is smart. Smart call out. I love this. In Shadowdark, people aren't forced to... You're not forced to make rolls to find things, right? And giving a timer of people being in the room for that long is great. And I will tell you as a GM running Shadowdark, I tally my rounds. At the bottom of whatever sheet I'm doing, I just put an RND and I just tally the rounds. Every time a round goes around, I tally it. Because then I know if I've checked. And any time I have gone through, above it, if it is, if I need to do an encounter roll, I dot it. Right? So if I go 1, 2, 3, dot, 1, 2, 3, dot, I know that every third round, in a third round thing, I am dotting my stuff. You could cross it. You could do whatever it identifies. So you could just put a line through each one if you want. But I don't do line throughs because I tally using hashtags. I tally doing X, V's, and I's. Again, Sly Flourish just talked about this, but I've been doing it for decades. Because that's how my mom taught me to count when I was doing stuff for home interiors. Because it was quicker than writing numbers. Just an accounting trick. So anyway. Key opens alcove to the portrait in 6A. Again, I would probably hyperlink that. Stained glass window. Geometric patterns with mixes of color glass touching red panes will transport the person to the washroom. Okay. They have a hand on them. Staring at the blue panes for 3 rounds will reveal the location of Mallory. They have an eye on them. Touching the blue pane will swap bodies with Mallory. Contested charisma 4 check. Oh, you fucked, boys. Was this in the pack or is this yours, Nick? I feel like you did this one. I feel like that's a you vamp child. So up here, what do we got? Animated armor. Did you change anything? Standing like statue? No. I love animated armor. I have that in my dungeon. It's one of my favorite things of all time. I feel animated armor is iconic. Honestly, I think it's more iconic than even goblins for me. Because there's something about that armor that animates and comes out and does stuff. It feels right. I like it, Nick. It's a good piece. That's a really fun piece. That'd be a great alt cover in foil. Like a foil stamped cover. And your logo, instead of do the teeth in gray, but foil stamp that cover. That'd be kind of cool. Doligan Dolingen Ghost. So attack 2, death touch 4, 1d8 plus life drain, or 1 possess. Weaker, decent dex. They got that Riz though. Fly near, chaos. Life drain, 1d4 con damage, death if reduced to 0. C. Nice. You're using single letter abbreviation. Do you know why you're using single letter abbreviation? Because you can. Do you want to figure out the other thing that I just noticed? What happens when we have to use alignment as a determining factor? We're gonna have to write We're gonna have to write the alignment out. We already replaced the Z. We can't replace the C. People use the C too much. Constitution, charisma, chaos, like those are all problems. But anyway, I love this. Greater Undead, immune to morale checks, only damaged by silver or magical sources. A lot of people forget morale. They really do forget to use morale in Shadowdark, and it makes all the difference in the world. Like, the last game I just ran for Breachers, for the Living Wall, the group died because zombies don't morale break. We had like an epic death. Nick, you should have been there. If you could have played on that game, we had all 3 characters die. A brand new character from Raven, Serving Hands Obot died, and then Dread's Dungeon Chef all died to zombies. So epic, in fact, that they all became zombies, rose up, and started fighting. And, like, attacking the chef as he was trying to leave. It was horrible. Chaos left to be written out. Yeah, I noticed that. You and I think very similar about layout stuff as we're looking at things. Bravo, my friend. Incorporeal, possess, corporeal, 1 target, close, contest as he check. If a ghost wins, inhabits target its body and controls it for 2d4 rounds. I, as a GM, for this note, okay, I would let... Actually, I'm going to have to do it this way. Hold on here. Let me get the right tool. I'll keep it pink. I would let the PC control. And let them attack if they want. Let them attack. Whoops, I did that wrong. Let them control the ghost instead of me doing it. Just hand them the stat card and be like, I want you to fight if you're possessed. And then you just pass it around, and I would put a print of the ghost in the back of the card and then hand it to anyone who gets possessed and tell them to attack other players. Or flee. Maybe you can even at the bottom give them a goal. Like if it's like to find their loved one in the place and they run them towards that thing and they can have a conversation with the ghost. Because it makes sure that while you're taking agency away, it still lets the player be involved. That's how I handle a lot of spiritual stuff, like ghosts and spirits and things. Very cool, though. Love the art. Bloodbag Chamber. So we're moving into 6 here, everybody. So we went to 5. This is the stained glass window we were talking about, right? We moved through this door and going into 6. I missed it. Did you note if the doors are locked or anything in the beginning? Did you say... all doors are unlocked unless noted? You did not. I think that's another added thing I would put maybe here. Or here. Or in the counters. I don't know. Somewhere you need a key. You're missing a key. You're missing a key. Because you could have had a key here where it's like green door, right? And that door is DC, 10. Or unlocked, whatever you wanted to do. But that's my big thing. If you have a map, you should have a fucking key. I bitched about this in every one of them so far. I want a key. And there's no key. And you're like, yeah, but it's isometric. Yeah, but the doors would have been the key. North is this way. The door is this key. That's what I would have put. And that would allow you to indicate some things to people. And then numbers are hyperlinked. You know what I mean? Instead of having hidden, let them know. Click the numbers. But anyway, I digress. Blood bag, dim secret survivor. We're gonna go back to our highlighting. Dim secret survivor, like that. Dim, you know, giving us the light source, which is smart. Townsfolk hang like blood bags from columns with their souls cut to bleed into basins beneath. Ow. Ow. Look at the doors around 10. I see 10. Did you draw them on there? Okay. While that is fun, I get that you illustrated it. You needed it. I would call this out in color. I didn't notice it. I did not notice it at all. I do notice that they're different. I get the idea, but I maybe would have drawn a gigantic lock or color the lock or something. But if you had a key, Nick, you wouldn't have had to explain this to me. You know what I mean? Now, I'm sure when I get to 10, it's going to tell me that they're locked, obviously. Like when I'm going to go look at 10 now. Where's 10? Dark doors. Dark puzzle. I would have put lock. Put lock here. Let's put a lock here. Let people know. Right? Because you have the door. Dark puzzle locked. That also would be a nice indicator. Because you're already teaching people with it. So you might as well abuse it. Beat the fuck out of it. 3 words. You know what I mean? I love this art, though. This is super fun. Oh, and it's out of helm. Even better. And you got the math. And I see you got the little clicky down here, too, which I appreciate. So anyway. The souls cut from their feet. That's fucked up. I love it. It's something I would do. I think it's great. A brazier with dying embers sits in the center of the room. A 10-foot tall portrait on the far wall depicts Mallory sitting on a count's lap. I love that you say dying because that allows them to stoke it if they wanted to get a fire going really easily. Townsfolk still alive but weak. Dry mouths prevent speaking. If given water, 1 ration, they explain survivors are in an alcove that spore mines hung them up to bait vampire spawn. First off, genius. You're making people spend their rations. I love it. It's important. Giving rations out is a way to interact with solving problems. Slowly dwindles down their stuff. And like while they're down here, rations aren't an issue because they can hopefully get back out. But they are carrying them and they're a great resource of trade. I dig that a lot. I use rations all the fucking time. Braziers inside a torn note, not yet burnt. If you ever find yourself bloody, the door will open to heal you. This is a clue to unlock the relic chamber in 10. Again, think about hyperleaking. I don't know why you didn't. Maybe you have a reason. Lifting and removing the portrait from the wall makes noise that will attract vampire spawn and spore mines. Reveals a door that a skeleton key under the rug 5 will unlock. And this is in 6. So let's look at 6 again. And you're obviously talking about this piece here, and you can see the people strung up there. That's really cool. I like the room. I like the design. I actually really like your grid, by the way. I forgot to talk about that. I love your tiling. Did you hand draw all these fucking tiles, dude? Is that what you did? You did, didn't you? You hand drew all you mad monster. Nick, if you've never used Clip Studio, I would highly recommend trying it. You can put an isometric grid out. You can use any brush that you want, and you can stroke the grids. And it lets you create the feeling of hand-drawn while still staying in a formulaic fashion. So if you don't have Clip Studio as an illustrator or an artist, I highly fucking recommend it. Highly recommend it. And I didn't know about it. Todd taught me about it from the show. And I have been using it ever since because it does vector and raster in the same file. You know, you can do that stuff obviously in Affinity, but Affinity does not have the guides and tools that the Clip Studio does. I love this room. That's really cool. Alcove, Dark Survivor's Treasure. Again, maybe the XP piece here would be kind of cool. I don't know. I just love the idea of that being here for people. Like XP1. 1d4 survivors huddle in a small room. Large clay jars line the walls. Clay jars filled with 10,000 copper coins, 100 gold. Each jar is 2 slots. Holy shit. Shh. Serving hands? It's the name of one of the songs coming out. It's literally the name of one of the songs. Shh. Shh. Stroke the grids, baby. But anyway. I love this. 2 slots. Dude, and if they fall, like as a GM, I could see when someone falls in the jars, I'd be like, boom, and fucking 10,000 copper coins fill across the room. If someone falls, because they're gonna break the clay jars, dude. It's piggy banks. It's a kid's piggy bank. Holy fucking kid's piggy bank, Batman. Genius. Nick, this might be my favorite part so far. This might be my favorite part. You didn't even call out that it's a pig. Shun, the Vile Offering Bowl. Dark Puzzle Boon. Boon usually means again, probably XP. It's my guess. We're just calling it ahead of time. The statue of a cloaked woman with tentacles creeping out from under the cloak to cover the eyes, ears, and mouth sits opposed a bowl. Tentacle points towards the bowl. Bowl filled with ash of burnt paper. If the offering of a secret is made and destroyed, the door will open. The ash will float into the spike hall to reveal gravity reversal. Worshippers get a boon of advantage against poison. Whoa! It contains all that bacon. Filled with ash. So let me look at this room, and room 7. Where's 7 at? Where's 7? 6. 6A. Or actually, are we in 6A? No, it's 7. 6. 7's all the way back here at the beginning. I see. Okay. Filled with ash of burnt paper, the offering of a secret is made and destroyed. The door will open, and the ash will float into a spiked hall to reveal the gravity reversal. Worshippers get... to get out. Is that what this is? What is the point of gravity reversal? Kashun is the goddess of the moon, right? Am I correct? That's the worshiper of the moon. The god of the moon, or goddess of the moon, right? Opposite the bull. A tentacle points towards the bull. The bull filled... I'm not sure what this is for. Into the spiked hall. Oh, I see. So you don't die here. So it'll open this door and you can go out this way and not get crushed and killed on the spikes. I understand. Goddess of Secrets, who hates Ord. Shun's got a secret hate Ord. That's right. I remember now. Smart. That's on me for not having the knowledge. But I get how that works. That's a fun solution to a puzzle. Let's see if there's a way through it. Spiked hall, dark trap, hanging from the ceiling, 30 foot near. Overhead are spikes intended to skewer a man. Gravity is reversed in the chamber, and halls 8 and 11, surrounding the relic, chamber 10. Flipping the switch, 11, will cause gravity return. Spikes will fall. Spikes deal 2d6 damage if fall upon them, or standing under them when the switch flips. Is there someone to flip the switch in 11? Like, how would they know somebody's here to flip that? Because you're saying that 11 resets it. Does a trap just go off in the hall? Because you're saying it only goes off when the switch is flipped in 11. So what's an 11? The switch to the ceiling. Dark, puzzle, trap. The hall is empty. Gravity is reversed. The switch is 30 foot near upon the ceiling. Flipping the switch causes gravity to return to normal immediately. Are you saying that the trap goes off in room 11 is the reset? Is that what you're saying? Because what I'm trying to figure out here is if the spike tall hanging on the ceiling 30 foot overhead spike screwing a man, gravity is reversed in the chamber. And halls 8 and 11 surrounding the roll chamber. So that means that you get flung into it. Right? If the gravity is reversed, you get flung up into it. And then 11 is how you turn the trap off. Because it's you fall up into the trap. Okay, I get it. So it's a gravity reversal trap. These are the spikes. This is the floor. Gravity goes up. So when a person comes in, they hit into the spikes. Got it. Took me a minute to get what you're getting at, but very cool. That was me more figuring the logic out. Dark secret treasure, cast coagulated blood. You love this, by the way. I just want to point out in your other one, you had the slime mold thing. I feel like you really love. Did you have the little easy bake oven to make the worms and the spiders and shit like that as a kid growing up? Because I feel like you did. The critters. Feel like you did. Anyway, I know it's a coffin, but empty room with a shallow back wall and 2 bronze hogs heads, 10 gold each, 100 gold for the set. Ooh, nice. Hog heads brim with coagulated blood. Touching one hog's head empties the other. Wall. Obviously shallow with fresh, shoddy brick walls. Nope, you didn't have it. Okay. Brickwork can be broken up. This here, I would erase that piece out, whatever that, it's hard to read, whatever the fuck that is. It even reads as like a piece. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's the back. Is that the background? It looks like a comma. I would go back in and erase that bitch out or shift it. Why? There we go. Obviously, shallow with fresh, shoddy brickwork can be broken open with a hog's head, so you can hit it against it. 15 strength. Again, you went back to using your DCs like this. I don't know why you did that. It takes 5 rounds to strong arm open it up, making noise. Pickaxes open the wall in 2 rounds. Okay. Opening reveals a shackled corpse hanging on the wall. Touching him causes an umbrella to materialize in one of the hog's heads. Okay. Umbrella Lugusi. Umbrella benefit. Umbrella, when open, grants Featherfall for 1d4 rounds. Oh, I love that it can fail on you and you can die. When poisoned, if you fail the DC check by 3, you succeed. Umbrella Lugusi will consume from you. Nice. Curtis, sentient, thick accent with slurred speech and a desire for its owner to eat mushrooms so it can drain the toxin. Oh, that is really cool because, hold on a minute, I'm a fucking dumbass. I'm a dumbass. Lugusi was a renowned for his sinister portrayal of Count Dracula. I was trying to remember how I knew that name. This name was like clicking, but I couldn't put it together. Lugusi was that. And is the umbrella a reference to the mushroom? Is that what that is? If that's what that is, that's dope. If that's the purpose. I'm curious now. Anyway, Love that you have an object. Really fun. Hungarian-American actor, Bella. B-E-L-A. Here, I'll bring it over so you can see it. Is a Hungarian actor. Check this out. I knew it from horror movie, and I couldn't fucking nail it. But born in Lagos, Kingdom of Hungary, now Romania, known as the quintessential vampire career, he was a founding member of the Screen Actors Guild. Death passed away in 1956 following a heart attack. Lugosi's stage name adopted earlier translation directly to Bella of Lugos. But he was Lugosi was a actor. Yep, you got it. And I'm thinking maybe that was their reference here, if you're talking about that. Yep. I'm wondering, yes, you got it. Just a thought. I don't know if that was the case, but that is where my brain went. All right, so now we're in the dark puzzle room. Dark puzzle. The doors open, the chambers are locked with a silver plate on the door where the knob should be. Silver plate has an imprint for a hand. Door. Silver causes vampires to bleed. To open the door, you must bleed upon the silver plate. The paper clues in Mallory's chamber 5 and in the red bag brazier 6 allude blood. First off, bravo for reminding them where things are. But I would have hyperlinked these back to the areas you spoke about so that they could quickly check them and then alt left and come back. But I love this. Because Nick, for the Lugosi thing, was that from the Tiny Vampire game? Correct? Isn't that where you pulled it from? This cask can be used to fill Doligan's request. 3 XP. She is not aware of this casket's existence. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. Inside the room, there's a glass casket with Mallory's mother in it. The casket is enchanted with runes. So hold on a minute. Nick, is this art piece supposed to be here? Because this tends to 10, right? Is that because when it's a spread, you can see the art? Is that why? I bet you that's why. I bet you that's why. I'm surprised you have it on this page, though. Huh. Because if you look at this thing, 9. This is 10. This is 9. This is 10. I'm surprised this art isn't on this page. I'm guessing it's in spread format. And we're just going to look. Because you couldn't fit it on the page? Bro. Shrink that bitch. Could have shrunk it and put it right fucking here. Right there. That's what I would have done. I get it. I know it's big. It's pretty. When you don't have a 16-page... That's true, too, Nick. What are you going to call the upgraded version? Like, I want to do the full moon edition for my last one. What are you going to call this one? You gotta upgrade it. There has to be a full version name. Relics chamber, the door. Okay, so here we go. So silver plates. I love that you teach that. Back into what we're doing here. Switch on the ceiling. Let me zoom in. Dark puzzle trap. The hall is empty. Gravity is reversed. The switch is 30 near upon the ceiling. Flipping the switch causes gravity to return to normal. Blood soaked. Would you question to flip this switch if the gravity is reversed? Would you require a DDC check here? Should there be a check to get to the switch? Because you're going to get flung into it, right? and no one's got a 30-foot pole. It's outside the range of light. You won't even see it unless you really raise your hand looking for a switch. Because say, I'm going to look for a switch, then that you're going to give it to them, right? Because that's the rules of Shadowdark. The narrative rules. I'm wondering if a DC is needed here to do this. Because it's a trap. To get up to it. Unstable platforms. Well, that's not what I want. Let's get some different music here. Give me a sec. Playlist. I'll do the MBL stuff. Where does the instrument start? Is that the start of the instrumentals? Yep. Okay. So we have an 11 puzzle. And 11's here. That means the switch is like here somewhere. So now we got unstable platforms, dark trap treasure. Entering the hallway reveals a pit 30 foot near deep with wooden platforms. Space is... And this hallway is 30 foot near deep. Why does this keep doing this? Deep with wooden platforms, spaced evenly apart. There are 2 doors in the left and right of the first platform. Pit filled with spikes suffer 2d6 fall damage and 2d6 fall damage and 1d10 impale damage. Nice. Is that really type? Would it just be piercing damage? Or are you trying to bypass people using their DR if they have a resistance of some form? There are corpses of survivors skewered on the spikes. 100 gold can be found amongst all of their bodies, and several silver serving knives, daggers, 1 XP. Ooh, this actually would be really fun for them if they could get a glint of it. Wooden platforms fall upon. Wooden platforms fall upon stepping upon them. That wording is weird. I don't like this wording at all. Fall after stepping on them. Stepping upon them. The double upon is weird. Return to their position after 2 rounds. Okay, so they reset. Just description. I couldn't remember. Well, no. Weapons have bludgeoning, slashing, piercing, don't they? I'm pretty sure weapons do. Do they not? Am I just trained? I'm just trained. Holy shit, you're right. None. All right. I always thought the weapons did. I'm so trained from all the years. And then you got, obviously, the map takes you back to here, which is dope. Changing... How did it go when the judges noticed this? Were they all in? So, dark monster treasure, a marble-tiled room. So now we're in 13. So 13's here. So we got to cross. We're basically going through, coming out here. And then it looks like we're crossing either here or we're crossing here if we get through, right? Or we go this way. That loops around. So there's multiple ways through the dungeon. These things collapse on you. So we're now going into 13. Dark monster treasure, marble-tiled room with a set of cubbies with baskets in them. A spore mine drags a basket of salt to the baths, 14. A towel wrapper around her torso. Baskets. Some baskets have soiled body garments in them. A few mushrooms. One has a dagger in it. Is this hyperlinked? No, okay. I thought maybe it was a hyperlink because it was colored. Why is... Oh, because you're talking about... I see. Boom. Smart. They liked that it was hyperlinked? Good. One has a dagger in it. 2 rounds for 1 person to find. Okay, because you got to dig through them all. That means that... I love that you... This is smart. This probably was even looked over by them. This is smart design because that means that we're in a deadly situation. If they're going to dig for 2 rounds, I get to roll. You're like, nope, not this round. Nope, not this round. And nothing happens, right? That is smart play. Benefit. 1 day. When inserted into a keyhole, it can reshape into a key for that door once per day. Spore Mind, if stopped, will offer mushrooms as remedies to all ailments, improve vitality and cognizance. Will lie to say it makes you smarter. If one believes a lie as a hive mind, DC 15 con to avoid succumbing mushroom charts. Succumbing. Oh, wow, I can't read today. Succumbing. See mushroom chart. Is there supposed to be something there? I'm assuming that's just a missed piece. See mushroom chart blank for alternatives. And then you got over here a Spore Mind, 11, 18, 4 for our AC through level. 2 attacks, +4, 1d8 plus Paralyzer feed. Paralyze is a hard thing. I talked about this in another one. I think Paralyze takes the fun from players. It needs to be something fun so they can still play their character. And instead of total paralysis, it should be like limb paralysis, disadvantage on what you're doing. And then if you get hit a second time with it, and then you would succumb to paralysis or something. It shouldn't just be one step and you're fucking done. It's harsh, but not in a fun way of harsh. Like, you might as well just die. Okay, it fucking sucks. Or feed. 310022 near unwashed living creatures DC 12C. The first time within near or disadvantage on attacks and spellcasting for 5 rounds. Living creatures. Unwashed. They're unwashed, but they're making bath. Some masks have soiled body. Oh, because it's the changing room and they're dirty. I see. Gas is written. Yeah, I would have changed the paralysis. I would have changed this. I wouldn't have used it. I would have just changed the paralysis for them. Crams mushrooms into their mouth of a paralyzed target. That's hilarious that they auto do it. And you got a hyperlink here. Smart. Or use gas. SD, page 700. So, or use, because feed's been added. I would have changed the paralysis, personally. I would have just said feed. Paralysis feed. So it would have been like 1d8 plus feed. And I would have just ditched the paralysis. Because then you're just like cramp. And you take a fucking... Like, you're paralyzed for that round, and you take a mushroom. Or however you want to do it. They grapple you, do it. Bloody Leech's Bowl, Dark Monster Secret, Bathing Pool filled with blood, Townsfolk Corpse floats to the pool, of course. Pool in the pool, a secret passage connects the bloody bath. The passage is only visible when submerged into blood. 2d6, 1d4 if salted. Giant leeches will attack anyone in the blood. Corpse, bloated and floating. Pock marks from the leech. Suckers mar its body. Has a family locket around it. Another XP. Again, you already know. Giant leech. So you're reusing them. Did you make any custom monsters, or are these all just from the book? Are we going to get to a custom monster? Washbroom, Dark Puzzle Treasure, a series of mirrors, faucets, and stools line one of the mirrors, have gold frames, 20 gold, 2 slots, grime from age at the corners. All faucets release hot water when turned on, except one. Saying Bloody Mary 3 times should also be accepted because kids struggle pronouncing names correctly. Lol. That's fucking hilarious. You son of a bitch. Touching the mirror pane will transport the individual to Mallory's chambers. Saying Bloody Mallory 3 times will swap bodies for her. That's fucking great. Is there any indicator for the mirror? I can't remember if we were told something earlier. Or is this just one of those, like, hey, if you figure it out, good on you? Faucet, broken faucet on the has a bloody red ruby, 50 gold, wrapped in a monogram handkerchief, crammed in it. Handkerchief is monogrammed from Mallory's father. Why would this be here? I'm curious. Why would he have crammed a monogrammed handkerchief with a ruby into the faucet to break it? What's the point of this? I'm curious. Like, why? Is there a thought behind this? Am I missing something from lore? So I am very curious about that. I don't want to know what the faucet's for. I'm sure it's something I just don't know. Bloody bath. Dark secret treasure, bloody bath. A shadow appears at the base of the stairs. Bath, a secret passage connects a blood pool. 14. The passage is only visible when submerged into blood because you got to go underneath to see it. 1d4, 0 if salted. Giant leeches will attack anyone in the blood. Shadow bled corpse of townsfolk with silver sword and belt. These people came down here ready. Is this spread across the two? That's awesome. It's like a weird giant leech. Great fun art, dude. I love this background scrolling. This reminds me of the old scratch board, which I used to love as a kid. A lot of the scratch board work I did as a kid inspired Breachers. Snakes, or as a teen. No. Not that part. Not that part. I'm curious about the faucet. Curious about the faucet. Why? I get the other part because you go back and forth. Snake, sweet room, dark monster. Snakes dragged, mushrooms lie stretched across the floor. No lore, okay. Stretched across the floor, drying. 2 vampire spawns stretch the snakes out before trying to squeeze into them, pulling them up like a potato sack. Ugh. Snakes, while the snakes are drugged on mushrooms, they can be warned to slither past, rattle, or move about the crypt as a snake. While in the snake, the body is considered in stasis. Smart. I love this. This whole concept is great. The body is considered stasis, halting any poison checks or death saves vampires can use in place of a coffin. Once one of the snakes has Mallory in it. Okay, that's great. One of the snakes has Mallory in it. Vampire spawn. Want to wear snakeskin to sneak up on spore mines so they can attack them. Responsive to diligent and protective of Mallory. Vampire spawn. Standard issue. Cannot be killed unless pierced through the heart with a wooden stake while at 0 hit points. Blood drain. We have all this silver. Magical sources. Only damaged by silver. Magical sources. So you have a chance of hurting it. And then hopefully somebody got wooden arms earlier so that you can stake it. Is your arms turned to wood? Oh my god. Rattler's Lair. So we are, I think, we are back in this area, right? And then this area here, where these are the skins that sneak in, I believe, in 17. Dark monster treasure. There's a giant snake in the lair. It sleeps. It's swallowed many people. Treasures a table and worm food tavern. What is not digested lies in its holes. Treasure. Rattlers swab piles of rubble, debris, bodies, and 5 items from treasure hoard in 4-6 table. Lair. Lair actions do not cost the use of Rattler's action and happen at the end of the initiative order. Stuffed. I love this. I use lair actions all the time. I think they add evocative moments to a set piece. Stuffed. When a rattler eats a person, it will burrow into the ground and sleep for 1d4 rounds. The dive and burrow is immediately and does not require an action. Cave in. Roll 1d6. On a 1, one of the burrow holes collapses. Okay. Is there a lot of holes in 18? So, does that mean... All right, so question. I don't quite understand the purpose of this. Roll 1d6 and a 1, one of the burrow holes collapses. Is it just to add narrative? Or is it that one of them is in the burrow and collapses with the body? Is it because it'll be hard to dig it all out and get things up? Like, are you burying... Is this because this buries this? And it could possibly bury... this? Is that the reason for the collapse? Is that the big kind of thing here? I think that's what the point is, and I'm asking because you're here, obviously. A natural attack roll of 18 to 20. Target is swallowed. Total darkness inside, and 2d10 damage per round. Rattle regurgitates all swallowed. It defeated at least 20 damage in 1 round to the side of its gullet. Sends tremors from tail near the rattle. DC 15D. That kind of... I don't know if I like the bump down there. Is it like that in other ones? me find another one. No, it's not. That font really bumped that weird. This one, I would realign this. I know it's the font, but it's awkward. 1d10 damage from falling rocks, or use purple worm. I like it. I figured it was a purple worm. One of my favorite monsters as well. Mushroom eaters, dim monsters. A cave filled with bioluminescent mushrooms and mutated townsfolk chewing on them. Townsfolk's spore mine will offer mushrooms to anyone who enters the chamber. A pile of rocks blocks the tunnel. Mushrooms! Eating the mushrooms will grant any number of abilities, DC 15 con, or join spore mine. When separated from the spore mine for 24 hours, repeat check. Cured upon success, fail leads to telepathic alerting spore mines of your location. Spore mine townsfolk mutated by eating the mushrooms. All spore mines have telepathy with one another. Roll on the mushroom chart for the effects. They will deceive to convince people to eat mushrooms, because they need more people, obviously, to believe the deception. Rocks. Block the path. The Rattler's Lair 18 takes 5 rounds to clear. DC 18 strength to do so under assault of the spore mines offering mushrooms. And then you got the spore mines here. It's a ghast again. Are you repeating the same? AC's 11. So you're just repeating them so they're on the page, right? Just to make life easier. You're inlining it, which I appreciate. 15. So you don't have a back page. You got so tight on space, you have no back page. That's the only thing I'm missing as a back of the book. Where's my back cover, dude? Is this the back cover? That's what I would do. I would take this, redo it, redo this page, slap that bitch as the back cover. Why do I say that? Because your next page in can be this, which is important in its own right. And then you got explanation. I would probably put those tables in the back. Just a thought. But I get why it's not there. What do I think about this? It's garbage. It's the fucking... I'm just kidding. It's not the worst entry. It's actually very fucking good. I feel like you kind of nailed it on this one, man. I think you put your scope and scale in line, which we're going to talk more about on Friday. But you really, really, really put like a lot into this for a game jam. This is definitely publisher quality. A few little missed things, which is just an editor pass from someone outside. I really enjoy the tables that you put in. I like the new mechanic of the D8. I think that's very, very smart to add that omen on 2s, giving a mechanic to the GM for storytelling. We're seeing that in a lot of indie game design. We're seeing that in things like Dagger Heart and how you use hope and fear. You're using training from stuff to let people grow as a teller. I love that you just went and bought some art. You just bought some $7 fucking pixel art. And it works. It works great. And that cut down your work because all your art is this. I still believe you should put a key. I know you want the map to do its own justice. But as someone who's done cartography for like, parks and shit like that, and then done it for tabletop and done it for video games, you need a key. It is the thing that stops questions. I had questions, but if there was a key, I wouldn't have a fucking question. I don't know why cartographers always want to cut keys out. Like, people doing maps think that like it ruins the piece. It doesn't. It's part of it. It's like page numbering. Put a fucking key, people making maps. Because you could have had some fun things like this could have been a key piece. These 2 types of doors could have been a key piece. This treasure could have been a key piece. Teaching people where to go look, what it's for. I think a key would have went a long way. Especially on this one. You could add a key really easy for print for people to have. And you could have had a key down here. And a direction for north could have just been here with one arrow pointing up that says north. And that would let people digest anything else that they wanted to do. Or you could put, one on a isometric angle. I love the map. I think it's great. I think this does a lot of the storytelling for you. And I think that was your goal. If I were to guess, you wanted a map that was evocative enough that you could cut some corners and take some things out because the map tells a tale. The GM can look at the map and say you fall down this long hole covered in mushrooms on the side into a pile. I would have had an impact point there where you would die personally, but whatever. And you have these different areas you can go through. 19 with all the mushies. You have the bathroom through here at the salts, and this is all part of the process to get to the leech to get the thing out. Like, you have a story here. And you did it from 3 fucking horrible games. I love the custom touches of the art like this. There's some really fun things. The hyperlinking is genius. I do question, I guess in your body text, you're using the written form, and in your monster text, you're using the shortened form. I would rather just seen the shortened form to everywhere, because when I'm doing quick scans, it's easier. I've even thought about putting DCs right after every description, where it's coffin DC, no matter what, and then putting it through here and say make a roll, the roll, and just having it here so it's easy to find. I've also thought about putting a roll like that at the top. We've talked about that. But overall, traditional dungeon, clean, fun story. It is cute and dark at the same time. You fucking nailed it here. So, with that said, let's go back to scoring. We're gonna go over the game jam. This is the criteria. We're doing this one. Let me do my thing here. Let me grab this for the game jam. I see you put it up to $1 right away. I would have done the same thing for being the winner. Maybe I would have done that no matter what, right? Like, that's just, I believe that $1 is nothing. So I bought a copy to do this. I would have bought one anyway, I think, because I think this is going to be the only 5 so far, to be honest with you. Look, I'm going to go in reverse. Tones, atmosphere, and retro 8-bit energy. Yo, man, I have some Castlevania vibes in here. I know that wasn't the goal, but that was the goal of that little tiny vampire one. The vibes are strong. You nailed the look. You nailed the 8-bit. You nailed all of it without, like, missing a beat. Usability. I'm nitpicking because I want this to be a real sellable piece. I'm excited to see the Blood-Soaked edition. I think that a Blood-Soaked edition, with, now that I'm thinking, a crimson version and chrome on the cover is very viable. I think this is extremely fucking usable, dude. There are some little things where I had questions. Like, specifically looking back, I had questions on some of how things connected together. They're minor, but they're there. I wish we could give half stars, because I personally would give this a 4.5 on usability, but we can't. There's no half stars, I don't think. There's only an average of them. Yeah. Do I give this a 5? Did I give anything? I gave Gangsters and Gargoyles a 4. And theirs was very usable. I'm making sure I'm keeping my scale right. I gave Karn Climbers a 4. I'm going to have to come back to this. It's not quite, man, all right, Nick, fine, you get a 5. I can't argue it. I'm being nitpicky. 5 rounds up in grade school, lick it. Inspiration. How well the submission incorporates elements for the game. So here's the thing. I want this to be a I want this to be a 5. I think it's 100% a 5. I think this is a 5. I think the vibes are on point. I don't think this is straight 5s though. I had usability issues. I had to have you in chat to explain things reading it live. I think a few edits and it's a 5. I really do. Like, if I went back, I would probably change some usabilities here. Like Karn Climbers, I probably would have scored a 3 looking back. They went back and edited things and it becomes a 4. And they did it before it went live. Because they got it on Wednesday with me, and they did it before it went live that night, which made it a lot more usable. I think 545 is my thing. The fact that you look, the biggest feat out of all of this, man, I gotta go here. But the biggest feat out of all of this isn't actually the 8-bit. It isn't actually the usability. It's the fact that you found inspiration in the 3 worst fucking games to be paired. I don't think any 3 games in the game jam paired together because I've looked through all 60 now, like scrolled through them and looked at least like what their things were. I don't think anyone had anything even close to that shit fuck of a pairing. That pairing sucked. It was fucking horrible. Now with that, I do have to do a little pimping for myself today before we close. I gotta mute this. So everybody, we are officially putting out the trailer for Black Ballad. Bravo, Nick, by the way. It's a fucking amazing piece. I'm not trying to cut you short, but I know I'm gonna be talking to you on Friday, and I gotta go. But I want to play this. Our official trailer is now out for Black Ballad for our Kickstarter. It came out this afternoon. Nick and I have been doing some recording. We didn't want to hold it any longer, so we put out the Black Ballad. For those who are interested in following, it'll be launching on March 17th. This is the Kickstarter that you can go to the page and sign up to follow now. We're at 742. We're really happy with that number. There are no add-ons for this. And we're going to have more about that as it comes out. We're doing a premium project. We changed a few things in the back end, and we're going to be putting out only 2 levels. Both are the same book. One just comes with more stuff, and that's all there fucking is to it. With that said, I'm going to play our trailer.
Hey, adventurers, come here. Has anybody told you that wandering the darkest shadows with only a torchlight for survival is a perilous thing to do? What are you gonna do when eventually the things that lurk in the darkness finally consume your soul and rip your body to shreds? There's no chance for resurrection, and your story might just come to an end. Luckily for both storyteller and player alike, Storytellers Forge has you covered with Black Ballad's Second Chances. Paying homage to the original Black Ballad campaign, Second Chances features whole new modes of plays, entire lists of new items, and even ways to turn a little diabolical and start soul-stitching people to yourself. But that's not all, because no journey through the afterlife should be undertaken without a full soundtrack from the heavy metal band Dia Morte. All of this is included in Black Ballad's Second Chances, along with 2 Crossway coins so that you can pay your way through the lands of purgatory. So next time you sit on down to wander the perilous, dark lands of West March campaigns, have a backup plan. Bring the Black Ballad Second Chances with you, and don't miss out, because it's your only chance to get the deluxe edition.
With that, we are doing a deluxe edition. We are talking in the background. I don't want to say anything yet, but we are changing things up. It is a 70-plus page book. It has a repeatable adventure in the back. Every time you die, you're getting a bunch of 2 new ancestries, new classes, 2 new game modes, tons of new spells, new gear. I'm bringing sickles and scythes in, baby. And then, of course, you're also going to get all of the monsters and magical items from the Black Ballad converted over. I saw this, and my inspiration, and I'm going to say this now before, I leave. My inspiration was having a tool book at my side all the time. And it was Dave. A lot of my inspiration was this book. From being hardback to what it does, I pimp this book all the time as a great product to be able to roll things and have tables. And I wanted to do something with that. So we did. We made something with it. We made something that I'm super happy about. I think that this is going to be a great product for people to have that want to bring characters back to die. If a whole party dies, we have to go get somebody out of purgatory, and so on, and so on, and so on. We have a lot of ideas for this. More will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. A lot more coming out in March. But I have to bail for the day. But before I bail, I definitely have to thank my lovely patrons. You guys know the routine. We've done this a bunch of times, but I feel like I could do it more. I love that I have patrons that are supporting what I do. So let's get toe tag started. Let's get the thank you a-going. And let's pay respects.
If you haven't already, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Become one.
Well, everybody, you know the routine. It's the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining me. Congrats to Nick for an amazing job. Almost 555, baby. I really wanted to. But these people over here are what make everything happen. These are the lovely patrons that follow me over on my Patreon. If you're interested, there are links down below. I do more than just this show. I know, it's fucking weird. We currently have Breachers out right now in Volume 1, 2 new class books out. All these people have helped me afford to take the time to make those things. We also have Magic and Monsters in process being built for Daggerheart. You can see that live document that you can interact with. And then, of course, we also have all the things for Athantia in Dragonbane. I'm really excited to announce that we're going to be going back to Athantia here very shortly. We only have one more episode left of Magic and Monsters, unless for some reason the audience and our cast decide they want more, because last episode was a banger. That's it for me, everybody. Have a great day out there. Stay fucking rotten. Go play some games. And congratulations to Nick, one of our audience members, for winning a thing because I didn't enter. Just say it. I wasn't there to compete. Talk to you guys later.